Valve may have been overcharging you for your games. We discover another cancelled Disco Elysium title. And Metallica enter Sandman's Fortnite. I'm Matt Simpson, and this is Jinx News. I use Steam. The whole office uses Steam. It's convenient, it's got a good UI, and I'm probably going to keep using it. However, its operator Valve stands accused of overcharging their customers and anti-competitive behaviour. Yep, here in the UK, a digital rights campaigner called Vicky Shotbolt, what a name by the way, has filed a £656 million claim on behalf of 14 million players. She said that we believe Valve Corporation has been unfairly shutting out competition for PC games and in-game content, which has meant that UK customers have paid too much for these products. This has led to UK consumers paying too much for PC games and add-on content, and has enabled the gaming giant to continue charging an excessive commission of up to 30% to publishers. If the suit goes ahead, it's estimated that anyone who lived in the UK and bought PC games or DLC from June the 5th, 2018, will receive between £22 and £44 in compensation. I mean, I'm not going to say no to free money. This isn't actually the first time this has happened. Back in 2021, while the whole Epic versus Apple thing was going on, the creator of Humble Bundle filed a near-identical lawsuit, claiming that Steam had an unbreakable monopoly. And, well, spoiler alert, nothing really came of it. We live in the reality that the Epic Games Store, GOG, Microsoft Store, and many similar places exist. I mean, one could say that Steam just do it better, or that they got there first. Plus, it is the publishers who set the prices. I mean, they don't have to put their games on the platform, right? Well, yes and no. This is about parity. According to the lawsuit, if a publisher wants their game on Steam, they have to give Valve the lowest price. So say I wanted to sell my indie game, Ash of Clans, on my own website for $20. I can't then sell it on Steam for $25. I'd either have to drop the Steam price to $20 and pay them $6 for the trouble, or increase the price on my own site to $25, which ultimately isn't good for the customer. And that is what this lawsuit is about. If one storefront controls so much of the market that it's basically impossible to be financially successful without them, then that's a pretty big issue. It'll take a good few years for this lawsuit to reach a conclusion, so check back in with us for any breaking news. And let us know what you think. Is the Steam monopoly hurting consumers, or does its ease of use and massive game library make it worth it? Let us know down below. We all exist in two camps. On one side, those who've played 2019's smash hit CRPG, Disco Elysium, arguably one of the greatest video games of all time. On the other, there are people who are wrong. Yes, if you haven't experienced the adventures of the hungover detective and his chaotic thought cabinet, like, what are you doing? Seriously, just play it. Go now, buy it, finish watching this while it downloads, then play it. Unfortunately, its developer Zaun kind of fell apart shortly after the game's release. Various legal and personal disputes hang over the developers, with several key figures behind Disco resigning or being shown the door. And now it turns out, we could have been playing a follow-up next year if it wasn't for all this mess. In an interview with PC Gamer, several current and former developers talked about how many projects had to be cancelled after Disco's lead writers were fired from the company. This included an expansion to the original game, featuring one of its other lead characters, codenamed X7. If I find out it was a Kim Kitsuragi game, there will be hell to pay. Apparently, all the team at Zaun were behind it, and despite the loss of Disco's creative leads, there was plenty of excitement that they could still evoke Disco's unique charms and mechanics in their own way. The project was in development until February this year, when the CEO cancelled it and laid off most of the staff working on it. And this wasn't for the first time either. We already knew a planned sequel was canned following the departure of the first game's leads, as well as a sci-fi game with similar mechanics that was deep into pre-production. It's honestly just all so depressing. To create one of the most unique and innovative video games ever made, sell a boatload of copies, and spark a new generation of RPGs is something most devs could only ever dream of. For the world to be denied any more of it because of corporate greed and personal disagreements honestly seems unfair. Why can't we ever just have the nice things? Well, if you subscribe to Jinx Plus, you can. From Jinx anyway, there's a whole bunch of awesome content to watch, exclusive first hour episodes, and votes on what content you want us to make. So add that to your to-do list. Start downloading Disco, finish this episode, subscribe to Jinx Plus, Play disco. Got it? Good. In a frantic attempt to corner another group of gamers, Epic Games is now targeting metalheads by bringing Metallica to Fortnite. Now, before you metal fans get all holier than thou claiming this is the thing that should not be, we have known this was coming for a while. This image leaked on Twitter showed that they were the next musical artist to take over on Fortnite earlier this year. There'll be a typical virtual concert they're calling Metallica Fuel Fire Fury, as well as a new circuit added to Rocket Racing called Thrash Mountain, and a bunch of their songs added to the Fortnite festival too. Plus, the Four Horsemen are getting their own Lego versions. Not one, not two, by 4 figures, featuring James, Lars, Kirk and Rob. For those less keen on going to a gig virtually though, there's also a range of tie-in merch you can pick up. Perfect for all 72 seasons of the year. You'll have your chance to jump in the fire when the concerts take place on the weekend of the 22nd of June. So if you want to take part in some creeping deathmatch, seek and destroy your mates on the island, and deliver And Justice for All to take a Victory Royale, now you can. Sananga, Master of Puppets, spit out the bone, and we're done for today's show. Have a great weekend and we'll be back on Monday. It's completely ridiculous, honestly.